So we're out here at St. Thomas Dragway. The truck finally got here, and I've got 6 passes in now. The best previous to this one was 11.0 at 135, so 135 being my best mile an hour, and I just kicked the shit out of that. So let me spin this around. So I am number 100 here, 166 60 foot, which is me, lackluster, but I've got no two-step. Running at 6 pounds of boost, so 166 60 foot, 686 8th mile of 107 is a new best mile. The 1047 is the first 10.4 I've ever run, and 135 mile an hour is now my new best time. So I'll go through what I all did under the hood, and we'll keep you informed. Welcome back to the garage, and thank you for coming back time after time. My little channel is growing here a little bit, not immensely, and I'm not making money on this. So again, thank you for coming back. We're going to talk about this thing a little bit. You saw in the opening clip there, 1047 and 135 miles an hour here. I got the slip right here. We'll go over that in a second. And also did a 10.50 at 136 miles an hour. The ETs are not my personal best ET with this thing, but let's break that down a bit. My personal best ET with this little attention whore has been 1037 and 134 miles an hour. That T45 I had in the Ranger here behind the 4.6, it worked amazing. It shifted good. It had carbon fiber synchros, billet keys, you know, everything that you could put in there was in that transmission. This T56 Magnum, it's an older unit. I bought it used, and the shifter, it's got some slop in it. It's not real awesome to shift with. The clutch master cylinder leaks by internally. I think I mentioned that in one of the other videos. So when you're sitting on the clutch on the starting line, you can feel it starting to creep a little bit, and you'll have to, well, when I'm on the clutch for a while, I'll end up letting off, and then like put it in neutral, let off, and put my foot underneath the pedal and bring it back up. Try and get the fluid back to the proper side of the piston inside the slave cylinder, master cylinder. So banging second gear was problematic. Banging third gear was problematic. So on these runs, I'm not shifting this truck like I used to shift this truck with the T45, and that's part of the learning curve with a new transmission, a whole new setup, and this Coyote loved to rev it. It had a limiter at 8,000, and unfortunately I found it a couple times. So the runs I did get, let's go through this. I'll flip you around. So I've got 4 runs in the 10s. I did 11 runs the other night. So I've got 4 runs in the 10s. My best ET being this 1047. 166 60 foot is lackluster. 686 is not impressive either. I've gone 671. This 107 and in the 8th mile, that's moving faster. That's it's a 134, and this one's the same thing, 107.34. So those are new PBs in the 8th mile. But this 135, you know, with a clean pass, and then to back that up with a 136, this thing's making some steam, and in full street trim over the scales at work, this thing was weighing in with me in it at 3,344 pounds. So I mean, I put on the helmet, fill it up with fuel, and put the rear slicks on it, and that was the only change I made from street driving. I didn't have the skinnies on there to do these times here. So to do you know, a 1/10 of a second slower, but 2 mile an hour faster, on the only difference being a slick in the back, is pretty friggin' awesome, if you ask me anyway. And so you put that weight and the put the weight in the mile per hour into the Wallace horsepower calculator, and it shoots out a number of 695 horsepower, which I think is a little optimistic. At about 7 pounds, I would say, 675. I might be wrong. I don't know. That's crank horsepower. That's not wheel horsepower. So at 10 pounds of boost, it should make 750 horsepower on good fuel, on 100 octane roughly. I should be able to make 750 horsepower. But to make 700 horsepower, just under 700 horsepower on 6 to 7 pounds of boost, and that's what this thing is doing. It's just on gate spring right now. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, 6 pounds of boost. The transmission doesn't like to shift much past 7,000 RPM, and I think that's what Tremec rated the Magnum at anyway, is at like 7,000 RPM with synchros in it. And this is not face plated or anything, and that might be the next step. So I'm gonna show you a couple of videos right here, and just for my couple of passes from Friday night, we're gonna put video credit to my wife, Mrs. Custom Projects, Christine, and my brother Franz. So I'll get you them here in a second.
New setup in his Ford Ranger.
1047, nice.
At 135 miles per hour. Gary in the right lane. And
get it.
So it felt really, really good to actually get this thing back out at the track, and I had a great weekend. I had an awesome weekend. So Friday night started with this thing at the track. Saturday, I left it on the trailer all day, all night Friday, all day. And I normally don't trailer this thing to the track, but I've had trust issues this year with it. Saturday, Mrs. Custom Projects and me went for a drive in her Mercur. And we were out for just 5 hours driving around. Ended up Point Peely and Leamington, and went for Mexican dinner at a restaurant there, and it was awesome. And then it's a 2 hour drive back home. So it was a fantastic day away from everything, doing nothing with my lady. So we're gonna go over what happened with this here now, but with the wiring and whatever other issues. So we'll go over that. I'll spin you around again. So that ECU, I'm still running the ECU I shipped off to Power by the Hour. I did get a new engine harness. I put that in there, and to my surprise, I ended up with the same exact problem. No throttle pedal and crank sensor codes. So still assuming this ECU is problematic. I bought another one off of eBay, plugged it in, and I didn't crank it, but I'm still getting the throttle pedal problem, and like with no throttle pedal at all. Well, you got throttle pedal, but it doesn't actually work the throttle body. So I took the power by the hour harness, this one here, that expensive one I bought there a while back, and this is not a bad-mouthing power by the hour by any means. It could have very well been me pulling on these wires when I installed the watt box originally, because you got to hook up to the crank sensor and the coil wire and the throttle pedal position wire. So, I mean, there's 2 out of 3 of my problems right there, whether it was related or not. But I ended up pulling all those, a bunch of the pins out, like pushing them forward, taking the connector apart, pushing them forward, and making sure everything was connected. Went inside the, not inside the fuse panel, but took the lid off the fuse panel and, you know, wiggled fuses, wiggled relays, and held my tongue just right, and then things started working. So whether the problem's actually solved or not, I can't even tell you, but it worked and it ran. So I was happy with that. Took it out for, you know, a few times throughout the week, and then Friday night got to the drag strip. Now with that, I want to take a second to thank my cheering squad and a lot of people that helped me out. I mean, I got, if I miss anybody, I apologize here, but I've got Chapo. He's been out here helping me out here and there. Chapo, Benny, Frank, Bill, Abe, Mark, Jay, Trevor. There's going to be a lot more yet. Fadon. There's so many people that helped out, whether, you know, just offering their hand to come out and help me, or just emotional support, you know, just cheering me on to do it. My kids, Lauren and Emily, and their boyfriends, Gavin and Logan, for that matter. And I mean, every hobbyist knows that you're going to spend a bunch of time on any hobby. It doesn't matter what your hobby is. It can be guns, cars, dirt bikes, whatever it is. Nobody knows how much time you have in it except for you and your significant other. And this has taken a lot of time away from my significant other this year. So thanking my wife is, I mean, number one, absolutely number one, my biggest fan and my biggest supporter. So you'll see that in the video too, or I'm sure you probably heard it in the video because that was before here. But yeah, like anybody who's helped me out, anybody who's cheered me on with this, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So now we're going to go over what happened Sunday. So between Friday, there was, I did 11 runs on Friday, and a lot of them runs were not pretty at the drag strip. And a lot of them banged right off the rev limiter. So Friday night, I didn't have any issues. Drove it back on the trailer. I noticed it was idling when it was warm, idling a little funny. I figured, maybe just a little something in the tune. It was at 200 degrees almost. Not a big concern. Sunday, went to a Cars and Coffee with my friend Bill, and also, again, thank you, other Bill. So went to a Cars and Coffee at a private farm, buddy of mine's farm. And hey, there was burnouts when people were leaving. So, you know, imagine that on an old farm road. And this thing saw a burnout. And, well, we tickled the rev limiter for a little while there at 8K. And shortly after that, we had extra noises and fewer oil pressures. So that's where we're at now. And I can't even be mad. I'm not even mad about it. I'm not going to lose sleep over this. And like the electrical gremlins, that kicked my ass all summer long. I'm not even mad about this. So that guy's coming out of there. We're going to take a Coyote out. Hopefully it's nothing major. I mean, it sounds like a rod knock, and a lack of oil pressure is kind of a good indication that it's a main bearing issue, either a main or rod bearing. So we're going to pull it out of there, and we're going to inspect it. First things first, I'm going to pull the oil filter off. I'm going to cut it open. I'm going to see what's lurking inside the filter, and I'm sure all that glitters won't be gold. So we're going to get to that, and I'll keep you posted on this. I plan to have the transmission out of this thing tonight. We'll go from there. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for struggling along with me. Big shout out to Bob, Tetanus 1948. Go check him out. If he's got videos every Friday night test and tune at St. Thomas Dragway, some at Grand Bend, some Cayuga, some no prep footage, mud run footage. I'm sure there's other stuff I'm out there. Huge shout out to Bob. He's always cheering me on as well, and plugging my channel. So also big shout out back to Tetanus 1948, Bob. And on that note, figure it out your own way, fellas.